Do you want to play the Tales of Tribute, the new card game in ESO? Let me help you out. Hello, it's Aitzi. This is the first video in a series about Tales of Tribute, the new in-game card game that comes with the High Isle chapter for the Elder Scrolls Online. It's fun, I enjoy it, but it is a different kind of card game to any that I've played before. So I thought that I would put together a series of videos that can help players learn what to do. As in many MMOs, there is not necessarily a lot of information about how to do this. It's along the lines of try it and work it out. So I just want to give you a helping hand to get you playing this game. It's a lot of fun. So let's start with the board. So here you can see a Tales of Tribute board. You will see this whether you're playing a player or an NPC. The only difference is the name, which is currently hidden under the face. You'll see the name of the person that you're versing. Apart from that, it will look identical. So what we have is the Tavern draw pile. So the draw pile is all of the cards that are owned by the tavern, and all of the cards on the board come from the Tavern draw pile. The Tavern draw pile is set up at the start of the game and chosen from among 4 suits, which are represented on the right side of the board. You actually pick those as you start, but we'll save that for another video. So the next thing that you'll see is the tavern. Now the tavern is always consists of 5 cards. So it's 5 cards that you can use, buy, and move into your hand. So there are cards that will remove cards from the tavern, in which case it will be stocked back up again from the tavern pile. So cards will go from here into your hand when you purchase them as well, but it's always 5 cards. Then we have your character's gold, prestige, and power. You get gold from playing cards. So you play cards to gain gold. Prestige are your victory points. You need prestige of 40 or more to win the game. And the other player needs to not beat your score in their turn, in their final turn. So power is used to do a number of things on the board. It's used to knock out enemies' agent cards, so enemies' cards that will stay around between turns, and it's also used for victory points. So at the end of your turn, any power that you have left becomes a victory point. It gets turned into prestige and you get to keep it and use it to win the game. Then we have the patrons. So the patrons have 2 functions. They are the head of the suit. So they're picked at the start of the game. There are 8 of them in total, but you only play with 4. Each player picks 2 patrons to bring into the match. So there are never doubles, it's always 4 unique patrons. Each of them additionally has an activation that you can choose to use. They do different sorts of things. They can benefit you during the battle. You want to be probably considering using 1 patron skill each turn. You should definitely think about it, and it should be one of your choices in the same way that you might choose to play a card. You might also choose to use a patron ability. The other thing that's going on, you'll see there's a little arrow next to each patron that's pointing towards the board. If you activate a patron, the arrow will point down towards you, which means the patron favors you. If all 4 patrons favor you, you win the game automatically. It doesn't matter if you're behind on points, you will just straight up win. So do keep that in mind as well. Additionally, there's a central 5th one, and that's called the Treasury. The Treasury is always the same skill. It's always in every game. It never favors anyone, but you can use it in the same way as any of the other patrons and just use its activation as well. So then we have your draw pile. So the start of the game, you start with some very basic cards. You start with gold, and then you start also with one each, so clear gold, or sorry, colorless gold that comes from the treasury, and you start with one each of the gold cards from each of the houses or each of the suits. So in this case, there would be a blue gold, a red gold, a yellow gold, and an orange gold. And there is a reason for that, but we'll go into that in the next video. You might think it odd that I'm breaking this out into different sections, but what I've found is if I try to explain everything in this all at once, suddenly it's a 30-minute video, so I'm keeping it simple. But all of the videos for here will be linked up in the playlist, so do feel free to watch them. You can watch them in any order. If there's any particular video that works at a particular time, I'll link it directly. So then we go to your hand. Your hand is always 5 cards. So your hand comes from your draw pile, and then you get 5 cards to play with. So the hand shown here is a couple of rounds in. So rather than having only the basic gold and the basic colors, of which this one is, this is a yellow gold worth 1, and we have a colorless gold worth 1. There's been some activity, and so I have some extra cards. So as I've played this game, I've bought this red card, and I've bought this red card. So this one cost 2, and this one cost 4. This one is used by activating the treasury. So, and then after that, your played cards get discarded into this section here. So you can see the little design on the mat, which shows where things go. If you have what's called an agent, so an agent is, for example, this large card in the center, they sit here on the board above your hand, and they stay in play until they're removed by another force. So they're very useful, usually only much higher gold cost as well. So 6 and above is the gold cost for an agent to stay on the board. Then after the discards, as you play cards, you can also get things that are called combos. So for example, this arrows here. So if I play this on its own, it will give me 3 power. But if I play it and then activate it again with another red card, any red card, I'll actually get the second item on this one, which is 1 gold. So I can actually activate combos, and they'll actually show up down the side here as well. Very helpful to see what your opponent has been playing, or while you're learning the game, also very useful to see that you understand how the combos are working, because it's not 100% obvious all of the time. Then after the combos are played, the cards go to the cooldown pile. So once they're in the cooldown pile, they will stack up. You'll keep drawing cards from your draw pile until your draw pile is empty. Then the cooldown pile is shuffled and it drops back over to the other side. In this game, it depends on strategy and it depends on a lot of things, but usually you want to keep your hand size and your deck size fairly small. Try not to get too many cards, and if you have too many cards that are the wrong, of a sort that don't benefit you, try to get rid of them as well. Turns are 90 seconds each if you're playing a person, and infinitely long if you're playing an NPC. As of the PTS, I would 100% recommend you take as long as you need against an NPC. Just sit there and wait and read the cards and work out what's going on. When your turn is finished, you click the hourglass, and then it will go on to the other player's turn. If you're versing a player and the 90 seconds expires, you could be partway through a move, it'll just finish it off and it'll move on. If, for example, you needed to step away, once the 90 seconds is gone, your move is skipped, the other player gets to go, it comes back to you, you only have 20 seconds the next time around. So do keep that in mind. Once you're playing one of these games, you do need to focus on it. You can abandon the game and you can concede. If you concede, you lose, even if your score is higher. So keep that in mind as well. So that is the basics of the game board. There's a fair amount of information to show there, which is why I wanted to break this one up into a separate video. I'll try and keep all of the videos very short, would be the plan, so that you can switch between it and the information. I can so I can deliver the information to you in small chunks so that you don't get overwhelmed, because there's a fair amount of it, especially as we get into the nitty-gritty, and the different sorts of strategies and stuff you can employ. So please do subscribe if you are interested in more of these Tales of Tribute things. Bookmark the playlist, perhaps, if you need to refer back to it, and also if you want to make sure that you get the extra videos that are coming, or click the notification button as well, because that will tell you too. You can also come watch me play Tales of Tribute over at twitch.tv/ICYIC, where I stream The Elder Scrolls Online, and I'm a member of the ESO Stream Team, so I have giveaways and things as well. Thank you very much for watching. If anything is not particularly clear, do ask in the comments. I will answer, and if there's any other aspects you think I've missed or want to see covered in a different video for Tales of Tribute, let me know as well. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye.